Computer.
Got it. Hello, week 3, everybody. Hi. This is your good friend Aaron, our good friend Jason. We're here to talk to you about the week 2 recap, the SoonerNation Fantasy Football League. How's it going on your side, Jason?
Yeah, the Karate Kid's doing great.
Brimming with confidence.
Feeling great, feeling great. You left on the cruise, and you were mentioning to me about how it seemed like it was going to be the season from hell for the Karate Kid, and I'm looking forward to hearing the State of the Union of the Cobras later in the show.
Yeah, I mean, should we just get it over with? I don't know what to say. Friends, can I be frank? These are dark times, and I am without a path. Through 2 weeks, only one single skill player on my entire team has bested 10 points. Bench starters, one guy broke 10 points. I've yet to have a single skill player score a touchdown. Not a trip to the end zone. Joe Burrow's calf looks like it's going to be a nightmare all season. I'd like to see him just sit him down. Just sit him. And but he's too badass for his own good. He's just going to go out. Chase has now tanked because of the terrible quarterback play. I was really excited to have a lot of these dudes on my team, and there's just been a collective pooping of the bed so far.
Well, tell me
yes.
when you got off the boat. Tell me when you got off the boat. When did you see your team score, and what was the reaction there?
Okay, so occasionally on the boat, I was able to catch pieces. So I watched about a half of the Bengals game. So okay. I knew how terrible it was. I knew like this was not going to be my week. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to lose. Who cares? I'm on a cruise.
Yeah.
So rhyming. So so I just didn't worry about it again. I found out about the Aaron Rodgers injury like way afterwards.
Wow.
I caught it on SportsCenter like I guess Tuesday morning, and they were it was like all they were talking about, and I was like, wow, that's weird. Still, never considering I could have possibly have won my game. So we had like 2 full days in the ocean. I had 0 internet access, so just no idea. 2 full days in the ocean, and then our first port day was in Honduras. Okay. And we paid some local man, and he drove us all over through the jungle. If you've ever played the video game Far Cry, I've lived it now. You're just all over. It was insane. We ended up on this beach, where it was beautiful, the most beautiful sand, the most beautiful water, and every 2 to 3 minutes, somebody coming by to sell you something. They were trying to sell massages. No, maybe later. They tried to sell you. There were some tamales. There was all kinds of food. There were whistles. I got offered, you want some of the green stuff? No, man, I'm okay. I got the white stuff. That happened. That exact conversation happened at least a dozen times. Where was I? Oh, but the place that we got our little pool chairs from had a Wi-Fi password. Oh. So I was able to log on if I stood 2 feet from the thing at the bar. I could get a signal, and that was like just long enough. I logged onto the website. I saw that I won. I was like, what? What is this? How is this possible? And then I was able to put a bid in on a defense that would score 0. And then that was like at 11:45. And so then at 12:15, I went back up to the bar and I stood next to it and I logged in, and I was able to switch my lineup out. But that was the extent of my internet access until we got to Mexico.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. What was it like not being someone who was unplugged for a full week?
Oh, it was so great. It was really great. Like you come back and you're like, what happened at this? Like Beetlejuice did what? Like, I mean, there's just all this crazy stuff in the news, and it's like, I knew nothing. It didn't matter. It was wonderful. It was, and with the way my team was playing, it's better. It was bliss. I didn't know everybody collectively pooped the bed.
Good timing on the cruise. Good timing on the cruise.
Yeah.
What was your favorite stop?
I loved Honduras. It was because it was just insane. It was really like being in a video game or something for a while.
Anything
now the
else
nicest.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, you go on the nicest. My follow-up question is going to be, what was something that you did as far as entertainment that was like the best event?
Yeah. Well, like we got a little in Cozumel, we got a little cabana with the romance package with the massages on the beach and all that. So that was beautiful. But I liked the adventure of the crazy stuff in Honduras. On the cruise itself, I just tried to do everything they offered. I did the surfboard thing, not
Yeah,
very
yeah.
long. I fell, but yeah, I did that. I ice skated. I don't know if you're interested in. I came home with, I don't know where it is, but there's a massive bruise in here somewhere. Uh, I yeah, actually, I was skating and I fell on my hip and I was like, oh, that hurts so bad. Sarah wasn't even doing it; she's just watching me.
Oh,
She's like, no, I'm not ice skating, but I was like, we gotta try everything. So I was like, I gotta get up. So I made myself do another lap, and then I fell. And the second time when I fell, my knee swelled up like this far, like you could just push it and it was just squishy.
oh,
Yeah. So Sarah made me go see the hospital on the boat. I got x-rayed on the cruise ship.
oh my gosh.
I got two x-rays on my knee and
Okay.
everything was clear. So I went back and I was on the Wave Rider the 2 days later.
Oh my gosh. Now, was that somewhat of an omen for Joe Burrow's calf?
It was.
Was the owner of the Cobras?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I can't, I
Story.
still can't sleep on my left side. So it's like me and Joe we're commiserate.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, this is what I was looking for. Welcome back to the show. It
yeah.
was painful without you last week. So good to have you
Uh,
back. It's already 20 times better than last week's show. But we do want to get to, in the interest of time, some of the games. So do you
Well,
want to hit the
I've got a
PowerPoint?
little more because the
Oh,
second dollop of poop on this disaster of a start is now I have no feel for any of the teams because I haven't seen any of the games.
yeah.
So we were driving back yesterday, so I caught a couple games on the or Sunday, so I caught a couple games on the radio. But normally on an NFL Sunday, I'm glued to the TV, start to finish. I I would have really strong opinions right now, but I don't have any opinions. I don't know who I need to be patient for. I don't even know who to boot. Uh, I I don't know. Oh, and so the final issue then, by being out of town, I missed out on all the week one panic trades.
Ah,
Like, oh, I'm getting rid of Drake London, whoever, like,
right.
so
Right.
I don't know. It's really dark for the Cobras. Who's going to lead us out of the desert? Is Jonathan Taylor my Moses? Is Jameson Williams my Charlemagne? No, but I don't know. So yeah, we can move on.
Well, I'm looking forward to talking about your game this last week and looking at some of your players. But
Well, let's start
oh,
with
okay.
Josh Aaron.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna get to the we got a good response online with some of the graphics. So I went ahead and put together some graphics for this week as well.
Excellent.
So we'll see how sharing the screen goes this week and hopefully we can now can you see that? Can you see that pretty well?
I have wondered now if I'm actually cursed by God because I made myself Jesus. That thought is that thought has occurred. That's if you're wondering where I'm at.
Okay, well, I think you're probably okay because Jesus also was killed and raised from the dead. So there's always redemption. There's always hope. So don't have to worry about that, buddy. So, well, let's take a look.
Yeah.
Up
Uh,
on the screen, you should have the Cobras and Josh. Now,
that's interesting.
I thought you picked up a defense.
You'd have thought so. See, yeah, I don't know. I thought again, I'm out in the ocean. I don't know who's good. I just thought, well, Arizona's probably pretty bad.
Right.
Uh, let's just go with whoever's playing them. But
Yeah.
the Giants are even worser.
Now, tell me about your Jets running game strategy here.
Well, at this point, I knew Aaron Rodgers was out, but I didn't know anything else. Uh, I knew that it looked like that Chicago just looked like a big turd dumpster fire, so I didn't really want to rely on Khalil Herbert. Didn't feel great about my other receivers. I just didn't feel like I had a lot of options at this point. So I thought, well, maybe they just do a game plan where they try to just run against the best defense in the last 10 years.
Right.
What do you do? I felt like there was no good decision. It was step on a rake or get hit in the balls with a pitching machine.
Josh wins with an average week. And that seems like the story of the week there. I just am shocked at 100 points total for the Cobras in week 1 and week 2. It's we'll see if there's any resurrection hope or not.
It's dark times.
My gosh. When I saw the Giants score 0 points against Josh Dobbs in Arizona, it was just one of those moments where it just was like, I couldn't believe it. So
yeah, I have zero feel for any of this at this point.
I don't have the time to go back and just look at like total touches for skill players, but noticing like you had like a total of 18 26 total touches for your skill players was an interesting kind of like just the volume wasn't there, nor were the points. Congrats on Dallas Goedert's rebound from 0 points to 2.2 points.
I mean, that's a significant, if you're on a chart,
220% increase. So congrats on that. So
yeah, and I have no idea what's going on with the Eagles. I don't know.
We'll get to that maybe later when we talk about some more games. Let's continue on, even though we've talked too much of this 3 weeks of the show about Josh. So we're just going to just keep go to the next game. Oh, well, look at here.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Oh, look at this guy.
There you go.
This guy looks like he's enjoying a cruise and not just sitting there hating his fantasy team. So
not just wondering where it all went wrong.
At least you were in Honduras having the time of your life. Okay, let's continue with this huge upset. Go ahead and take it away.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thing. I didn't know when you put the graphics on the full screen that I would no longer be able to see any notes that I had up on my own computer screen.
So I can. We can go. This is a little preview. We can.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Okay. The podcast will be a perfect reflection of my fantasy season. It's perfect.
Well, we'll go back full screen.
No, I think I can remember all this. I got it. Okay. I got it. I do remember finding it really delightful that Chris got a touchdown for his tight end because he's just always just so snake bit at tight end.
Yeah.
James Cook looks like he's the real deal, at least from till the 20s. But then Damian Harris looked like he couldn't run it inside, and who's the other fella they got that's no good? I don't know. They gave 2 guys carries in the red zone. They failed. So maybe Cook starts getting those. I don't know. Josh Jacobs' line is insane.
Yes. That's one thing I noticed this week.
9 rushes for -2 yards is, I mean, you're getting near Dalvin Cook territory there. I mean,
Looking back, Dalvin Cook had 4 rushes for 7 yards and a fumble.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty pedestrian week for him to score. Nothing really stood out except for Dak, but then to pull off the upset and get back to 1-1, sending Jeff to 1-1.
Yeah.
Continuing the theme of no touchdowns. I think
these are ugly scores. Between
all of these non-quarterback teams, you only had the touchdown from Hunter Henry in this game.
Yeah, it really is gross. I mean, Jeff's best player was the kicker.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Now, you haven't watched much football, but isn't this kicker not a kicker? Isn't he a soccer player that they've picked up?
I can't even tell you what I don't know what color he is. I don't know anything.
Okay.
Brandon Aubrey.
Okay. Yeah. But maybe somebody will chime in the comments.
Sure. Yeah. Put it in the notes.
Okay. We'll keep going.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this was a good one. You picked this as the game of the week, right?
Yeah, for sure. I really felt.
I think it lived up to it.
Matchup. Yeah.
Yeah. Jay. Oh yeah, I had a whole double mint, double your pleasure, double your fun song written out in my notes that I can't see anymore.
I'm gonna stop here because we got to hear it. We got to hear it. I'm gonna stop this here.
Well, it's not worth stopping this.
No. Yes, it is. I want to hear. If you've got
a double pleasure was waiting for Jay. A double pleasure to Hawkinson TDs. A double great feeling making you realize T. Higgins scored 2 touchdowns too. Double rushing touchdowns from Hurts. Coach Bond is my double the fresh, double the smooth, double delicious winner of the week. Yeah, that's what you're missing with the notes.
That was absolutely worth stopping the share screen. Congrats to Jay for getting a song. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
We'll put it back up there so the rest of the folks can see the game of the week.
Of course.
But anytime you've got a song or a note, we need to make sure we cut it. So
I kind of forgot till I saw all of Jay's touchdowns.
My goodness.
Chad's running game is It's like as great as his receiving game is, man, that running game just cannot catch up. Like I don't know what he's gonna do.
Well, and
Like
then
it,
Adams is hurt a little bit too.
yeah,
So it'll be very curious. Man, I mean, Chad scores 120 points, would have beaten most of the teams this week, but went into the
yeah.
highest point scorer of the league. And man, Jay looks really good. But my comment about Jay's team is that last year the New England Patriots were so good for Jeff that he kept them. Our first ever in 27
Yes.
years, a defense was kept. And this year it looks like the Dallas Cowboys are probably the most valuable player in the entire league.
Which I could have kept over one of the guys that is not scored 10 points yet.
Yes, that is true. And I looked at the schedule. Dallas has a very favorable schedule in the coming weeks. I think Jay's going to feel pretty good about his team. In fact, we had an injury this week, happened last night on Monday Night Football. So Jay may be gaining on Josh for the kind of the favorite of the league right now with how his team looks. So huge bounce back from T. Higgins. I know Chase didn't do well, but 8 for 89 and 2 touchdowns for Jay there was a pretty big difference maker.
It's remarkable. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have an 0-2 Hellhounds. Yeah, Shane's team.
Poor Shane. We're talking about running back problems. What's he going to do? The bench doesn't look too good without Saquon. He's so loaded at receiver.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Look at that. Brown, Smith, and Ayuk. So good. And Shane, there's no way that Shane listens to this show because that's not something he would have time to do. Neither this. We know John doesn't listen to the show, but Shane, there's a waiver wire where you can pick up other players to start them during the year. I don't want to tip Shane off. That exists. But
really, he can get a student like a TA or something to do it.
Yeah, maybe. But you know what? He does have DeAndre Swift on the bench, and he had a great week. So there's some hope there. We'll see how he does for future weeks. Didn't Shane not have anybody ever picked up on the waiver wire one year? Didn't he have one year where he had
last year he went to the finals and he never made a move?
Amazing. He's in the best ball.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. He played best ball before any of us.
Right.
I was noticing the yards per carry on John's running backs is not very robust.
Okay.
2 weeks in a row now, Jordan Love has outperformed Justin Fields. Do not like the vibes that the minor vibes I'm getting from Chicago. That looks like where fantasy goes to die. John's racking up yards, getting touches, but no touchdowns. 2 yards per carry, and then 7 for 17 for Gibbs is not much better. I mean, that's.
So we'll talk about this, but David Montgomery getting hurt perhaps allows Gibbs to be able to shine. We'll see what he thinks about that trade in 1 week, 5 weeks, 10 weeks, 2 years.
Right.
Seeing the breakdown. So let's keep going. And we have here we go. Oh, this is
the battle of the hallway.
Yeah. I've somehow lost on my video feed of you, so hopefully we're still there. So hello.
Mine says recording.
Okay, good. Well, what do you have to say about this? The 2-0 Karate Kid versus the Pharisees dropping to 0-2.
Solid game for Danielson all around. 44 for Justin Herbert. Almost your whole team in double figures. I don't want to talk about your team.
Okay, let's talk about the hope for John's team then.
Yeah.
How many teams he would have beat?
He bested his last week's score by 44 points. I mean, that's improvement. That's he's 116 points is a score you can bring home to your mom, and it's just another L. Chad lost with the third highest score of the week, and now John lost with the fourth highest score.
Yeah.
Bijan looks immediately legit.
Yeah, if I know that Chad and John think they're in like a race to get Caleb Williams, but man, Bijan, when you have a player that can immediately be instantly incredible to watch and is fun. Do you remember when you drafted Chris Jones? Chris Johnson. When you drafted Chris Johnson, and you were just like, this guy is so much fun to watch every week. That's how I feel about what John feel about having Bijan. He just seems like it would be so much fun to play against.
Yeah, just to be a Falcons fan and just watch him go.
Yeah, I'm not really confident in the Riddler, but yeah,
he's on the waiver wire. Nobody is.
Okay, I think there's one last game. I think there's one last game before we go to the previewing the week that is.
So you got something special for us.
Oh yeah. Well, let's continue. Let's see. We have the last team here. Let's play from current slide. And okay, we had Brandon taking the loss versus the Deshaun-led Watson, Jeremy Carrs with his wide receivers. My goodness, take it away, Aaron.
Yeah, look, 300 yards between, like 300 yards and 3 touchdowns between Allen and Evans. Like, it doesn't matter how ineffective he was elsewhere because that is tough to get past. Where did that come from? Yeah. The Baker's aunts, man. That dude, who saw this coming?
Not me.
No. And I guess the knock on Allen was always like, well, then he's going to get hurt. But not hurt right now, 111-2.
Yeah, he looks
Louise. And you know, you're getting the benefit of those on the Herbert side.
Yeah.
Tough for Brandon. Just 22 out of Lawrence. You know, we kind of think 30 is the, you know, kind of great game for McCaffrey, and it's just squandered. Defense played great. I don't know. Brandon's team is full of these guys that I don't know anything about. I don't know. Kendrick Bourne. What do I? Yeah.
You said it 2 weeks ago in the show that he was relying on 3 starting Cleveland Browns, and that traditionally has been not a great strategy.
Yeah.
But you got to have your quarterback score more than 22, no touchdowns. I think that I remember seeing that Lawrence was in the red zone at least, I don't want to say, I think 4 times, and they came away with 0 points, 0 touchdowns. That seems pretty drastic. So
he's the chosen one. You think there'd be some more points there?
Do you think if he's got to cut his hair? He's got to cut his hair. I think he would be instantly better if he cut his hair.
It's like anti-Samson.
Yeah, exactly. The anti-Samson. Anything else about the week that was before we go on to the week 3 preview?
No. Let's just keep trucking.
Okay, I do want to say I don't have graphics for that. In the picks contest, there are still 6 survivors left. Everyone who was still in the contest was able to survive. And so congratulations to the owners. And then in the that's the survivor contest. In the picks contest, there are 3 teams that have 19 total picks, 3 teams that have 18, and 3 teams that have 17. So the top 9 are pretty close. So the gap is not as large as it was last week. And I'll see if I can pull up a graphic for the best ball before the end of the show. So
did you notice in the survivor that the first week everybody picked one of 2 teams, and in the second week everybody picked one of 2 teams?
Yeah.
It's like hive mind, just with 6 people.
Right. So I also thought it was interesting. I should have put this graphic up too. I thought it was interesting that there in every division there are 4 teams, and there's a team with 2 wins, 2 losses, and the 2 middle teams are 1-1. So there are 3 teams that are leading the division at 2-0, 3 teams that are 0-2, and then the middle teams are both 1-1. I thought that was very interesting. Heading into this week, how many 3-0 teams and how many 0-3 teams will head after week 3? So lots to think about. Okay, I think it's time for us to look at the week that will be. Now, again, these lineups are just what we see now. They could change based upon people moving lineups throughout the week.
Yeah, I mean, the quarterback's obviously the most exciting thing here. You've got Dak going against his old team. That's exciting. And in real life, playing Arizona, who I thought would be bad this year. I don't know. I haven't seen them play yet. Tua should go crazy against Denver, though, because Denver doesn't seem to be able to stop a whole lot. I like Josh having CeeDee Lamb. I think that's probably gonna be the difference. Is just like soaking up all of, because Dak only has eyes for him. He's like, I don't know what the target share is. It's like 60%.
Yeah. And Jake Ferguson. So a little touchdown outlet there at the end. Yeah. This was in the running for game of the week for me because of the crossing of potential players there with Dak.
Yeah, I was wondering if we would finally see Rashad White. Had that in my notes.
League winner, Rashad White. That was
yeah. Well, and maybe now with Baker leading that, yes. A moment of silence for Nick Chubb though, because that was horrifying, and that makes me sad.
Man, I'm sorry for these. I need to put on do not disturb.
No, it was just
my apologies. I didn't mean to be dinging when we're talking about Nick Chubb. It was brutal, man. Like, nobody likes injuries for any of their players. Obviously, Cooper Kupp being hurt right now just makes me sad at night. But the injury looked like it was so brutal, and it makes me worried for him and his future, as well as we didn't get a chance to talk about Aaron Rodgers. But man, like, I don't think he'll probably be a quarterback again in the NFL. Like, that recovery is so hard for a 40-year-old man.
Getting out of bed is hard.
I was bummed. I was just like, last night and the aftermath was just a huge bummer. So yeah, moment of silence for sure. I don't think I was actually silent for that long though.
It was just a moment. That moment can be as long as you want it to be.
Thanks. Who do you gonna take in this matchup?
I'm gonna go Josh. I think he's got a little too much, even without Nick Chubb. And I don't love either of his running backs, but he's gonna be too much.
I thought that George Pickens looked awesome last night. And I think with Deontay Johnson out for a minimum of 4 or 5 weeks, I think that George Pickens is going to be really fun to follow for Pittsburgh. So I'm taking the ghost too, even though I like to choose against you, but that's in my notes. So we'll go to the next game.
I don't think we're gonna need much. We're not gonna need much of an analysis here. I mean, I have to sit Burrow. He plays Monday, so it's not like I can wait.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna roll with Geno. Man, I don't know. I'm not winning this game. Defending champ is not going to go 0-3 against a team that can't break 60 points. So it doesn't matter.
This is a huge game. I mean, one of these two, stalwarts of the 12-team league that, always going to be seeing the playoffs. One of these teams is going to start 0-3. Again, this was up there for game of the week for me. I was just like, there is
Jason. I can't go 0-3.
Okay.
I have a win. You can't take that win away from me.
Oh my gosh, the Cobras are 1-1. They've only scored 50 points each.
Doesn't matter, man.
How did that happen?
Hold people down. Jeff's not breaking 65 this week. Watch it. Najee Harris, have you seen that guy?
Well,
Najee Harris is as slow as Brad Moore out at New Life Ranch, holding his pants up with one hand. Come on.
Thank you for correcting me. I just didn't think there was any way that the team on the left of my screen, with Breece Hall, Zay Flowers, Goddard, and Herbert could actually have a win. In fact, this on the team on the left looks like a farm team.
Oh man, I found out that we had a new viewer, Mr. Caden Lahan.
Oh,
so I really can't say the words that I'm just brewing up inside of me right now.
Just go ahead. I'll bleep him in. I'll bleep him out in post production.
All I need is Chris calling me, telling me what Caden said, because he was repeating what I want to call you right now.
Okay. I'm taking Jeff. There's no way Jeff goes 0-3.
Jeff's gonna win.
Okay.
Jeff's gonna win. Come on.
Okay. Will the Pharisees get their first win?
I don't know, man. No. Yes. Yeah, they would. I don't know. Bring my notes back.
Okay. I'll stop screen. We can look at it here. I just want to take a look. They'll have to.
You just totally took me out of my game.
They'll probably change this.
Does he know David Montgomery is hurt?
I don't know, because he didn't start Puka last week, but he started him this week. So David Montgomery's still here. I have a feeling that that's going to change, but maybe we shouldn't tell him, because I'm going to root for John. John scoring 109 points and getting the loss just seems unfair. So
no, John's going to win this. Come on. All right, let's see what I actually thought when I wrote this coherently.
Yeah.
This is a gross game. Blech. That's what I wrote in my notes. Bijan looks like everything is advertised. John's got a great piece here. Debo and Waller are going on Thursday, so that's fun. He'll have a pretty good idea if those guys light it up. I don't think Jeremy's going to be able to catch him. I was way too down on Jeremy's receivers coming in, but those guys have been terrific. Pharisees with a gross win. That's what my notes say.
Pharisees with a gross win. Well, man, it's interesting to me. I'm going to go back. I'm going to start back. If you got your notes,
Yeah, I'm good now. Thank you.
To the screen. You're gonna have to print those out like in a sheet of paper next week.
Yeah, now I'll be ready. Your graphics package, I love. It's terrific, by the way.
Well,
it makes the show better. I just need to prepare differently.
Well, that's good to know. But I'd love some feedback because I think some people would just listen to this in the podcast and their car. Now it's more of a visual show. So I'd love to hear what people think. Dude, I look at those 3 wide receivers for Carr. Puka, Mike Evans, and Keenan Allen. I want to pick John, but I feel like those 3 wide receivers are so good, and he'll find a way to pick up somebody to start in that David Montgomery spot.
Yeah, he'll do something.
Yeah, maybe it'll be the Cleveland backup, and he can just go full Brown. And perhaps there'll be a trade in the future with Brandon. He could just go full Cleveland Brown. And
Code Brown is what that is.
Code Brown. I love it. So okay, our next game is going to be the 0-2 Hellhounds versus the Rompers. Do you need me to go to your notes?
No, man, we're good.
Okay,
we're good. Yeah, actually, I do.
Okay. So everyone take a look at the screen. I feel like Chad's pickup of the Williams kid for the Rams may have been a big pickup because he looks really good. Looks really good.
Yeah, that kid looks big time.
Yeah.
Who is this? Hellhounds. Where'd they go? See, normally I would have this all queued up. Oh my goodness. Such an amateur. It's like I took a vacation from my brain. Did I not? Oh, here it is. John Chad. Hellhounds receivers, terrific. He's going to need him to carry him. When is Christian Watson coming back from the hamstring? Because you got to figure that makes Jordan Love a little better if he's stretching the field. Until one of these running backs establishes himself, I think John's going to have a hard time choosing. Like, Gibbs is flash. That little half spin he did in that first Monday night game took my breath away. It's like, whoa, bodies can do that, so that's great. I don't know. I'm sure John has multiple trades in the works right now. He's been texting me today. I'm sure he's texting 6 or 7 other people. As good as John's receivers are, though, Chad's are even better. I despise Chad's running backs. I don't think it's matter. I don't think it's going to matter. I think Chad pulls off the win.
I think I don't know if I've ever picked Chad in our in however many weeks we've had as as picking games, but Justin Jefferson and Adams and Robinson and Williams, he's built such a strong team, and the Chargers look awful. I mean, I think that Brandon Staley surely has to be fired sooner rather than later. They can't stop anybody. They made the Tennessee quarterback look amazing throwing these downfield passes. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a big week for Minnesota, a big week for Chad. But you know what? I'll take the Hellhounds. I just think Jordan Love, then Waddle, Olave, Addison. We have so many teams with 3 young, exciting wide receivers. It's a great time to be a fan of the NFL right now. Lots of fun.
Yeah, a lot of good receivers.
I'll take the Hellhounds going winning because I don't want the Hellhounds to go 0-15 and give Josh the number 1 draft pick in the first, second, and third round. So I've actually become a huge Mendenhall fan because I don't want him to lose Tua and also hand Josh Caleb Williams. There's a real shot that Josh gets unbeatable in the future. So that's
before we move on, I want to apologize to Chad about I do like Brian Robinson. I think that was I like that. He might be the guy. He's got shot in the knee a week before the season last year or whatever. So I was pooping all over his running backs. He might have something there.
Yeah,
and maybe Kyron Williams. It's that system that made Todd Gurley the greatest running back in the world. So we'll see.
The Rams have been the most surprising team to me all year after 2 weeks.
I was sure they were going to be a dumpster fire.
Me too.
This.
Not the game of the week, but it looks like a pretty good game.
The Battle of the Hallway.
I'm gonna go ahead and have some people take a look at the matchups here. Of course, all of the Cleveland players. Brandon only has one Cleveland player in right now, so
He's
some
moving them
lineup
out.
changes. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop share and let you take a look at your notes.
Um, I I thought this was a potential game of the week. Also, I think you both break 100. One of you ends up with a sad loss. I think it's looking like a long game too, with like Thursday night, Sunday, Monday. Um, Boy, it would be really satisfying for Brandon to not only beat you, but to do it with Aaron Jones.
Yeah,
Like that tastes so good, I bet.
yeah.
I'm gonna give Jason just the slightest win.
Okay,
I'm rooting Brandon.
okay.
I mean I can't, but
Yeah, I thought, interestingly enough, the matchup to have Ken Walker going against his Carolina team, Carolina, who looked pretty good last night against New Orleans, and
better
Bryce.
than I thought.
Me too. But man, I'll tell you what, that Houston team looks awful. So the Jacksonville Jags going up against Houston at home. Yeah, I just think
Yeah.
that Jacksonville's going to really try to make a statement in this game to say, like, hey, don't forget about us. We're not a terrible team. But I mean, I gotta go with the 2-0 Karate Kid. I like, of course, that Kelsey's back, and in my nightly prayers and morning time alone with Jesus, Cooper Cup is a large part of that. So
No,
I will look forward to seeing how he comes back. Which brings us, I think, to the game of the week. We have a new sponsor. I want to make sure.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful.
Last week, our sponsor was, of course, Crystal's Pizza,
Yeah.
North Expressway in Rockwell. Just want to say a huge thanks for the way that you
Oh, that's
sponsored it. And
terrific.
amazingly, out of business but somehow still sponsoring us. Also, Northwest Expressway, Nino's Mexican Restaurant is bringing you as our sponsor for Game of the Week. And somehow Jeff's not in the Game of the Week, which is shocking because if I remember, there's one Jeffrey Logan that maybe went to Nino's at least once or twice.
I associate Jeff with Nino's also. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Do you have any memories from Crystal's Pizza? Want to give a shout out to last week's sponsor?
Oh, I was delighted when that popped up. Yeah, I went to every time you had a soccer team, you had your end of the year party there. Every time birthday parties, I went to all that. Lunch in high school, we went there all the time. I've spent. I have a pin like a pin that you can stick into something made out of one of their old tokens. It's like in my backpack.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I'm a Crystals kid. Oh
How
yeah.
many times do you think you and Jeff went to Nino's?
Jeff was going to Nino's before me. I think it was like his family Mexican
Yeah.
place, but yeah, I'm sure he and I went there dozens and dozens of times.
So a big shout out. Thanks to Nino's for sponsoring
Yeah.
the segment, which leads us to the conversation around this great game.
What a matchup!
Love this game. Okay, Aaron, break
Yeah.
it down. Take a look at it
Yeah.
as the league, and then we'll stop share, and so you can look at your notes. But while you look at your notes, this is so perfect when you've got the Monday night 6:15 game. Jalen Hurts throwing to AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Also, Irv Smith on the second Monday night game, as well as he's got Saquon Barkley in there, but he's got the Niners on Thursday night. It is the ultimate evening matchup games. I'll say what you have to say from your notes, but when I looked at it, I said those evening games are so stinking fun to watch. I love the night games.
Yeah, because seems like something crazy happens.
Yeah.
I like Jay here, but he's pretty heavily invested in the Bengals, and I don't know what we're gonna get out of them.
Yeah.
If Burrow's out, if Burrow's the way just ineffective the way he has been, man, that whole offense could just sink.
Yeah.
With Saquon on the shelf, Shane's running game is so thin. He's got that AJ and Hurts, AJ and Smith hurt counter to Hurts that you were talking about. That 49er defense you're bringing up, they're going to do some terrible things to a struggling Giants offense on a short week.
Yeah.
That could be like horrifying. Just cover your eyes. I think these two teams both are capable of huge numbers, but I think it's going to be some depressed scores this week for them.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Jay for the lean win.
Okay.
But I'm very excited, especially the way it's all going to come down to Monday night, and we're going to be able to see it in time. Like, well, we need this to happen exactly this way.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah, it's the game of the week for sure. I am taking the Gridiron Vipers as well. mainly because you talked about San Francisco on Thursday night against a terrible Giants team, San Francisco at home. The Giants have to fly from across the country on a short week with injured players to face them.
Yeah.
Dallas plays Arizona, and I know that Arizona has scored some points the first 2 weeks against Washington and against the Giants, but
Yeah.
I don't know what Josh Dobbs is going to do against Micah Parsons. The poor kid, like I'm already feel for it. Like get the ice baths ready because I'm not going to pick against Jay and the Cowboys until they lose. That's can probably I just Hurts and the Cowboys are so good. I'm not going to pick against them. So that's my pick for the week. So,
Look at there. Yeah, we're pretty close on our picks, I think.
yeah, we are more than usual. Usually, even we'll try to maybe change one of my picks, but I just didn't feel like I want to do that this week. I'll stick with the strategy, and I'm looking forward to seeing how I did on my picks last week. But the show may have been so boring with only one host that Brandon may have not watched. So we'll see.
Is that how it went down?
Hey man, it's been great to have you back. Just so people know about the best ball scores.
Right.
The best ball score. The winner of the week again was Smitty. Scored the most points in the best ball league. So congratulations to them. They were led by Mostert was the player that picked it up.
We saw that coming.
Yeah, and it just looks like a good start to the week being 2-0 there. But I think we've handled everything. I think that's the show. I'm looking forward to seeing you back next week.
I thought of one more thing about your game that I wanted to mention. I think the matchup of your game is if they put Pat Surtain on Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
I think that's theater right there. Or if he's on Waddle, either way, I kind of want to see what he can do. So that might be your trick to victory. Like maybe he locks down Tyreek and Waddle goes off, or vice versa. I think a lot could come down to where Surtain plays.
Well, I was really impressed with Christian Gonzalez, University of Oregon product. He transferred there before Colorado. He really did a great job on Tyreek Hill. I thought that he was tremendous. Even getting an interception, it was awesome. I thought that was really fun for me to watch. Now, the show probably needs to be over, but maybe so just for a little, so the show's over. You can stop watching. This is just extra credit. I am so excited to have Neon Dion come to town to play Oregon in Autzen Stadium. I stayed up until 1:20 watching the Colorado State game. It was absolutely thrilling. I was yesterday at the orthodontist appointment with my daughter, and I started talking about the Colorado State game. By the end of the conversation, there were 4 female dental hygienists or people who were working there, and they're all talking about it. This has been the most exciting college football story, I think, in years. I mean, I've probably gotten into 12 conversations just with random people about it, where they want to know what I think about Neon Dion. And I know Neon Dion's one of your all-time favorite players.
He's my man.
You have a take on Dion. And actually, I think you have a couple rookie cards, and I don't want to make sure you know those are skyrocketing right now in value.
Be my broker. I've got a bunch. I got Yankees. I got Falcons. Oh, I got them.
Yeah, I saw it online. Yeah. I saw online his football rookie card is like skyrocketing. Like people want it so bad. You know, like the Blade sunglasses are making millions of dollars every day. It's like the highest skyrocketing card in the last year.
That's awesome. I got to watch the Colorado State game on the boat in the sports bar.
Oh my God.
It was like the only game on that time of night by then, and it was on all the TVs. And so it was just random strangers, and we're all like, in the overtime. It was so cool.
Yeah, it's invigorated my college football watching. I love watching the Ducks, but man, I am just, and then they get to come to Autzen. So the Ducks are like a 19-point favorite, which to me sounds crazy, but perhaps we could
fly out there.
Well, actually, I'm gonna go visit next month, and hope to see Josh at a game. That's we've been talking about getting out there. I haven't been to a game at Autzen for a long time. We're gonna bring the whole family over fall break, and we're gonna hook up with the Galloping Ghosts. Hey Josh, let's make a trade. Let's make a trade in person at Autzen Stadium, just for fun.
Report back.
Yeah. Hey, this is probably a long show. Thanks everyone for watching. Aaron, this was a joy to have you back. Thanks for
good job, Jason.
Good job by you.
Yeah.